Tonight on Newswatch, a former OU basketball player files a lawsuit against the university years after being expelled. Plus, Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin is sworn in as the new Secretary of Homeland Security following Kristi Noem's firing. And in sports, Ohio softball hosts Pitt and the football schedule is here. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Donovan Varney. Welcome to Newswatch. A former student and basketball player at Ohio University claims he was wrongfully expelled after being falsely accused of sexual harassment and dating violence. In a lawsuit filed against OU, the former student claims the university violated its own protocols when conducting an investigation into allegations that he had been violent with his ex-girlfriend. The suit claims the investigation was deeply flawed, impartial, and discriminatory. Ohio University has yet to respond to the lawsuit that was originally filed earlier this month. A father and son contracting duo in Muskingum County are being accused of defrauding customers of nearly $225,000. Timothy and Jesse May advertise themselves as designers, builders, renters, and sellers of small outdoor structures, including log homes and sheds. Several customers have filed complaints claiming they never received items they purchased from the pair. The father and son are alongside 3 other home improvement contractors named in a lawsuit filed by Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, where the combined damages add up to over $500,000. We're going to go over and set it to Lexi Bell-Palsy for a look at the weather.
Thanks, Donovan. Good evening, Athens. Currently, it is 51 degrees with clear skies and winds from the north at about 7 miles per hour right now. Absolutely beautiful spring day with sunny skies and cooler temperatures as well. Now, today we did have a bit of a sunnier skies. Now we are going to see those clouds start to increase as they enter into another system will start to enter into our area. With this high pressure system going to start moving out, which will cause us to have that warm front start to move in. But on the bright side, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a warm front. Now, here it says mostly cloudy, but that's simply going to be because of that increase in cloud cover as we go into our evening and into our night hours tonight, with that high of 53 and a low of 35 today. And today we had that high of 35 with those mostly cloudy skies and tomorrow's sunrise at 7:21 a.m. And like I said, we are going to have a bit of a warm front come in, but how will that impact our day-to-day weather for the next few days? We'll find out more when Newswatch returns.
Thanks, Lexi. Former Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin has been sworn in as the new Homeland Security Secretary. Mullin was confirmed by the Senate late last night in a 54-45 vote, less than 3 weeks after President Donald Trump fired previous Secretary Kristi Noem. He says his goal as Secretary is to take the Department of Homeland Security off the front page of the news.
I've made this very clear that I don't care what color your state is. I don't care if you're red or you're blue. At the end of the day, my job is to be Secretary of Homeland and to protect everybody the same, and we will do that.
Mullin is stepping into office during a turbulent time for the department as lawmakers propose a new funding deal to end the shutdown that has left TSA workers unpaid and airports understaffed. Michael Yoshida has more on the promising deal that could provide relief for DHS workers.
Frustrations for flyers.
We've been here at least an hour and 15 minutes in line. Got up at like some ungodly hour to get an 8:15 flight.
Across the country, travelers still seeing hours-long security lines at some major U.S. airports.
You think it's not going to be that bad, but then you get here and, you think, oh man, it really is as bad as they say it is.
Call-outs from Transportation Security Administration officers continue as they haven't been paid since mid-February. Monday, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were sent to 14 airports, including some of those hardest hit by TSA staffing shortages. The White House border czar said ICE agents are assisting with simpler tasks.
I don't believe that they're trained in a way that they can help us. Since I've been here, I've seen them outside standing around. I don't know if they are doing anything, I don't know.
Monday, Republican lawmakers emerged from the White House with a plan to mostly fund the DHS and begin paying TS agents again. According to a source familiar with the talks, a portion of immigration enforcement funding and pieces of President Trump's voter ID bill known as the Save America Act, which the president has said is needed for any deal, would be left out and require separate legislation, a plan key Democrats seem open to, but want to see in writing.
The cleanest thing to do is to just fund TSA. Let's do it today.
As negotiations continue, Tuesday, former Senator Markwayne Mullin was sworn in as the new head of DHS, replacing the embattled former Secretary Kristi Noem. In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Coming up, how you can keep your cool as you navigate the busy airports. And new rules for media personnel inside the Pentagon are being implemented.
And with another warm front making its way to our area, is more rain on the way? We'll find out more when Newswatch returns.
This is a story that's going to lead to some hard questions.
I'm in. No longer do they have to go to the casino. They got one in their pocket.
We don't want to profit on the backs of problem gamblers.
Brother, please.
That is so asinine.
It's everywhere 24 hours a day.
I think we should stop calling it prediction markets. It's sports gambling.
Red flag, red flag.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
The Electron Solar Farm.
Pentagon official.
With executive orders.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Nawaz.
I'm Margaret Hoover.
I'm Christiana Manpour in London.
Bring us up to speed there.
Israel is vowing serious consequences.
Did you get a commitment from President Trump?
We have to work on it.
When that story is told, it will be easier for us to see each other like the people who came before us.
Today, we live in a time when meaningful discourse is needed more than ever.
Is this just, at the end of the day, very smart politics?
It's, never compromise on the accuracy.
This is the story of modern war, how it's fought and how it's changing us.
If this is the way we're going to start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Travel woes remain at airports all across the U.S. Passengers face significant security wait times and extremely long lines. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a psychologist about how to keep your cool and find stress relief while waiting to fly.
As if taking off wasn't already taxing enough, now travelers are facing hours-long wait times as security lines stretch on, some even extending outside.
Travel is a recipe for increasing your stress level.
Psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says all of these factors release the stress hormone cortisol in the body, creating more tension and irritability. While there's nothing you can do about the lines, you can control your composure.
The number one cause of feeling stressed is feeling rushed or late. Building in some extra cushion time will help you to feel calmer and avoid that stress that comes with feeling behind.
Next, Albert says to pack some peace, bring distractions like podcasts, music, movies, anything that can help you cope, and comfort items like a pillow, blanket, and noise-canceling headphones.
These are going to help reduce your brain from feeling overwhelmed and more at ease through the process.
Bring healthy snacks and stay hydrated to avoid extra stress on the body and help keep up your energy. And consider downloading apps that calm your nerves, like breathing exercises, mindfulness, or meditation. Finally, set expectations. Know that there will be bumps and delays along the way.
Knowing this ahead of time and being emotionally prepared is going to help you to feel less stressed overall.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Lexi, we had a nice, warm, sunny weekend, and then things just get back to Ohio.
Right?
Yeah. And honestly, it's so nice and sunny out, which I can't complain about. And honestly, I appreciate it. Thanks, Ohio. But what can we expect moving forward this week? Are we going to see warmer temperatures? Is it going to stay cold? What's going on?
Yeah, typical Ohio, we're going to have a little bit of a roller coaster.
Okay.
We are going to see a little bit of an increase in cloud cover tonight and tomorrow, but how about we get a little bit more into it over here in the side. So today, currently right now, it is 51 degrees with clear skies and winds from the north at about 7 miles per hour. So top to bottom, beautiful spring day, sunny 50s, what you typically are going to expect. Now, across the board, we have that everywhere here. Lancaster's around the same at 49 with some sunny skies. Zanesville 48. Parkersburg not much different, 51. Beautiful day across the board. Like I said, beautiful sunny spring day. We had some high pressure today, which has allowed us to have those sunnier skies and less cloud cover, but we are going to have a little bit more come through as we have another system start to make its way into our area. Now, that high pressure is going to start to move out, and we're going to have a warm front come in, which will lead to very nice temperatures, but we might see some rainy conditions. We'll see that in a second. Here, we got expected a little bit more cloudiness today. We were a lot more sunny, but we will see that increase later on today with a high of 53 and tonight's low of 35. Tonight, we'd expect that low of 35 with mostly cloudy skies, and tomorrow sunrise at 7:21 a.m. Tomorrow, we can start to see that bit of a warm-up as we continue more into our week with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 66. But with that low of 53 due to those cloudy skies, you start to think, what could we possibly be seeing which is causing us to be a bit more cloudy? Tomorrow, we do have a general thunderstorm risk, not necessarily for us, but to our friends out west, more so in Indianapolis and in the Cincinnati area. However, I do want to note that because tomorrow we are going to start gearing up for our next system coming into the area. We'll still see some high pressure, very weak, which is not going to help us much when it comes to cloud cover, but with a bit of a dryness, it'll be nice. Now, tomorrow night, we're going to start seeing some warm fronts. We got one here and one down here. They're going to start moving into our area, which is going to allow us to be really warm on Thursday, but we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Thursday here, it's going to start off earlier in the day, obviously in our west. We're really going to be seeing these showers overnight Thursday night, more so evening into our overnight hours, which prompts us to have more of a 40% chance of rain Thursday night. For Thursday, I'm sorry, but mainly it's going to be because it will be hitting us in those evening hours and overnight into Friday. Now, we are going to be really nice with that high, almost 80 degrees on Thursday, but notice, like Ohio does, we're going to be pushed right back into those low 50s for Friday and Saturday, but we will see that sunshine come back into our weekend, and we'll start another warming trend before we see a lot more rain. So it's going to be our trend right now for, it looks like a lot of March. We're going to be seeing nice weather, and then some more rain and cold, and then some more nice weather, and then some more rain and cold, like a typical March here in Ohio. But with those overnight lows still being pretty cool, we're not really at those windows open, not at the windows open weather, but we're getting there.
Thanks, Lexi. The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments over a policy limiting access to asylum at the southern border. A current federal law requires migrants be processed at a port of entry if they claim to be fleeing persecution. The policy, known as metering, allows agents to turn migrants away before they reach U.S. soil. The Supreme Court will decide whether migrants stopped on the Mexico side have a legal right to seek asylum. Lower courts have previously ruled the policy preventing them violates federal law, but the government argues it's a necessary tool to manage surges at the border. The Defense Department is making changes for how and where journalists working at the Pentagon will be at. A workspace inside the Pentagon, long used by journalists, will be closed. Reportedly, in its place, a new area for reporters in an annex outside the main Pentagon building. Reporters would need an escort if they want access inside the Pentagon. The changes will make it harder for reporters to cover military stories. The Pentagon says the rule changes are to preserve military security, and dozens of reporters have turned in their press credentials in response to the Pentagon's new rules. A new bipartisan bill is aiming to ban certain sports betting practices with prediction market exchanges. That could impact U.S. platforms for Kalshi and Polymarket. While traditional sports betting is regulated by the states, prediction markets use a loophole to be placed under federal oversight. If passed, the bill would ban the betting on any sporting event or athletic competition. The bill is also looking to regulate online casino-style games like video poker and blackjack. With the start of hurricane season right around the corner, emergency planners are about to lose access to a critical hurricane evacuation planning tool. The federal contract with the web-based tool known as HurEvac has not been renewed. It's a tool that meteorologists and emergency managers use for making critical decisions, including ordering evacuations. HurEvac is owned and paid for by FEMA, but administered by the Army Corps of Engineers through an interagency agreement. President Trump repeatedly promised that tax refunds would be larger this year for Americans thanks to the big, beautiful bill. But now the war with Iran could wipe out a significant slice of that refund for many people, depending on how long the conflict lasts. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
As of March 13th, the average refund amount for individual filers was $3,623, up from $3,271 about a year ago, according to the IRS. That's a nearly 11% increase.
If you are falling into a specific category like a senior who is getting an additional tax benefit or tax deduction, you may be seeing larger refunds because, again, that's a nice boost. The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime.
While many Americans are looking forward to the extra money, the war with Iran is making gasoline more expensive. Gas prices have soared to nearly $4 nationwide, according to AAA, up almost $1 from February 28th, when the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran began. Those gas price hikes are fueled by the effective closing of the Strait of Hormuz that cut off 20% of the world's oil supply and sent oil prices skyrocketing.
It's going to be a tricky situation for a lot of people, especially anybody who might have, mentally started to plan for where this money's going to go. There will be other downstream impacts of higher prices for diesel, shipping costs, airplane tickets. Those are all going up.
Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at online price tracker Gas Buddy, says he expects high gas prices to continue into the summer, even if the war ends.
It's going to be a snail's pace for as long as this continues to stretch out, because it will take much more time for markets to globally mend and for them to resupply themselves. So the sticker shock may continue, though there could be relief if it does improve.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Wherever there's prey, there's a raptor to hunt it. Feathered top guns, with fists full of daggers. Raptors rule the skies. But what exactly counts as a bird of prey? It turns out they're even more special than we realize.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Hiding right under our noses, there are secret worlds that come to life. Now, on this rapidly changing planet, discover how people are finding new ways to live alongside nature. That could help the next generation create real change. A shared planet is a better home for all of us.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
Sports, I'm Austin Yao. Diamond sports continue for the Bobcats. Ohio softball faced off against the Pitt Panthers today for a midweek non-conference game. The Bobcats just won their weekend series against the Northern Illinois Huskies. Both teams currently sit in the middle of their respective conference standings as they prepare to enter their heart of their conference schedule. Ohio looked to take a big win over a non-conference foe to build momentum. It was a big game for Ohio. Last check, they were up 10-2 and looking to mercy rule and run rule the Pitt Panthers, and hopefully they can win this game. And now looking ahead to the football season. The MAC was the last conference to release their football schedule today, which gives the first full look at Ohio's schedule. The regular season starts in Lincoln against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Then Ohio will host Jacksonville State in a rematch of their 2024 Cure Bowl meeting for the home opener. The MAC schedule starts with a trip to Kent State on October 3rd. The Bobcats will then host Central Michigan on October 10th for their first MAC home game. A cross-country trip follows on October 17th as the Bobcats head to Sacramento State to take on the newest MAC members. This year's Battle of the Bricks will take place at Miami on November 10th as the Bobcats hope to extend their win streak to 3 in the rivalry. The season wraps up on Black Friday with a home game against the Toledo Rockets. And new head football coach Sean Hauser spoke with the media today ahead of the season.
The message was, we got to be a fundamentally sound, good football team. So the schemes will take a little bit more time, but just, we've got to be able to run the ball. We've got to be able to stop the run. Been pleased with a lot of the transfers we've brought in, just how they're operating and just, speed. And I feel like we hit on a lot of the guys just as far as, at least from a physical standpoint. It's wide open competition like a lot of spots in our team. Obviously, quarterback is the one we're going to talk about the most. But I think it's definitely wide open, and we're going to continue to evaluate it. I don't know that we'll have a starter off of 15 practices. It's just hard to do.
Hauser mentioned that it's a wide-open battle for the starting quarterback position. Ohio has 6 quarterbacks on the roster they can look to as they move on from Parker Navarro. However, only 2 have starting experience. Nick Polis started for the Bobcats against Kentucky in 2024 with 110 passing yards and 25 rushing yards. Matt Veza transferred in from New Hampshire, where he passed for 2,700 yards and 19 touchdowns with 600 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground, leading the Wildcats to an 8-5 record and an FCS playoff berth. With a quarterback battle and a new head coach, it will certainly be a new look for the Bobcats next season. Softball and baseball continue on, but the hype is growing for football season. That's all for sports today. Back to you, Donovan.
Still ahead, Ohio University students reveal how their March Madness brackets are doing as we head into the Sweet 16. Newswatch will return after the break, but until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your local television station.
What were your expectations for the weekend?
I have this wonderful ability where I can appall myself at times.
It was one weekend that altered my perception and my method of communication that's lasting me throughout all of my verticals and relationships.
We all came out of this saying, I wish everyone in this country could do this.
Yeah.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
Now streaming on the PBS app, the definitive collection from Emmy-winning scholar Henry Louis Gates Jr. From full seasons of Finding Your Roots.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
Oh my goodness.
To acclaimed documentaries.
Black Americans created a world behind the veil.
Discover the incredible history that connects us all. Stream the Henry Louis Gates Jr. collection now with Passport on the PBS app.
I know you understand everything. You're just not going to tell.
Yo para mí no son caballos, son mis compañeros.
Backside, the unseen hands of horse racing on PBS and the PBS app.
Changes are coming to WOUB 20.5. Starting April 1st, we're expanding our trusted coverage of Ohio government, public affairs, and statewide programming. Evening and primetime hours will now feature continuous programming from the Ohio Channel, providing in-depth access to the decisions and discussions shaping our state. From legislative sessions to public forums to stories from communities across Ohio, it's all right here. Stay informed, stay connected. Watch the Ohio Channel on WOUB 20.5.
Well, for the first time since beginning March Madness, we have a day with no basketball games at all. So there's no better time to check in and see how student brackets are faring before the Sweet 16. So reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld had a look before the madness continues this week.
We are officially past the first two rounds of March Madness on both the men's and women's side of the bracket. And you know what that means? My bracket's already ruined. So I came out to College Green today to talk to students to see if they're doing any better in March Madness. How are your brackets doing so far?
They're terrible, yeah.
Mine is really bad. I think, well, it's not too bad.
Mine's doing pretty okay. I still have my entire Elite Eight is still in the tournament.
Okay.
So,
I'm not doing too well.
Honestly, I feel pretty good about my bracket.
It's just a lot of the teams I had picked are out. Like Gonzaga's out, which is sad.
Like High Point winning was a big hit to my bracket.
Was there a pick this year that you were like, I know this is going to hit, and then you missed, upset-wise?
Oh, Troy. I thought for sure Troy was going to beat Nebraska, and it just did not happen.
Kansas, man, just because how they finished the game, just an absolutely, just a terrible finish. I had a little bit more hope in McNeese this year because of last year. They had that run where they had like a couple games they won. I had a little bit more hope in them, and then they just kind of got knocked out in the first round.
Do you have advice or what are you going to keep in mind for yourself, and what do you want to tell other people? What should you do to avoid this fate again?
Make a bunch of different brackets that all look very different, and then see what happens.
Oh man, and not make a March Madness bracket.
Wow, those guys look like they're having a rough time with their brackets this year. Honestly, I'm not doing too bad myself, but I gotta check in. How are your guys' brackets doing?
You know, not too great. I picked the MAC because, you know, you gotta represent, and Miami, you know, that's whatever, but Akron also lost, kind of messed up my bracket there.
Same here. I had both Akron and Miami in mine. Those were two early hits that I was like, yeah.
See, I had Akron maybe slipping past, and I had them losing the next round anyway, so it didn't damage me too much. Florida losing, that killed me. I had them going to the Final Four.
I mean, yeah, they won the championship last year.
Right.
So you'd think like, oh yeah, they're gonna make a decent run at least. No, not even close. That was sad. But I gotta ask, okay, so who do you guys have winning? My pick is on Arizona this year. I feel like they're the most complete team. Obviously, Duke is a very good team. Michigan's a good team, but I got Zona. I think Arizona's got it.
Yeah, I picked Arizona too. I picked them to beat Houston. I think it's the third time they would meet this season. They beat them once or twice, and so I think they got it again.
Yeah.
And make fun of me all you want. I have UConn winning. I have UConn upsetting Duke, and then obviously getting it all the way. So. Make fun of me all you want.
Yeah, we're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to make fun of you, but maybe Arizona was a better pick.
Maybe, who knows. But let's take a look at our weather for last time tonight. Now, our 7-day outlook here, we are going to start a warming trend tomorrow and Thursday before our next system comes through, dropping us back into the 50s. However, we are going to keep with that spring roller coaster is what I like to call it here, with March being either really, really warm for a couple days and then completely cold. We're going to keep on with that trend as we go into our weekend and into even next week, where we're going to cool down again and then just start another warming trend with a little bit more rain. But on the bright side, maybe because we're having this bit of a roller coaster, maybe April and May will look really good. Who knows? We are transitioning into a little bit more of a warmer pattern when it comes to climate patterns. So we'll see how that turns out for us this year.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely counting on a warmer climate this spring. That wouldn't be too bad. But all right, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. For Lexi Bell Palsy and Austin Yao, I'm Donovan Varney. Make sure you stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next, and keep checking those March Madness brackets. Have a great night.